Hi, I'm Lizzie. I taught in South Korea with EPIC, and I left in August of 2010, and I finished my contract in August of 2011, and then returned to the States after a bit of traveling. And I taught in Busan, or Busan, it depends on where it is in the sentence, which is a big beach town in the southeast of South Korea. I went to the University of Wisconsin in Madison, and I studied post-communist Eastern European history. So before I signed up for the TEFL course, I was just going to go to Korea. I was like, I got this, no problem. I can teach kids, because I was a kindergarten and, a preschool teacher in America, so I was like, no problem. I needed that course. I had no idea how to do things like presenting just a topic to students in a variety of ways so that everyone can learn about it. I learned a lot about how to manage a classroom, how to make sure that what I'm presenting to students is easily understandable, because you don't think about teaching someone who, obviously you're teaching English as a foreign language, but it's hard to imagine people not understanding the words that you're using. And you have to really think about how you're phrasing things and how your cultural sensitivity about certain lessons. Just not even that it's a sensitive lesson, but that people might not understand the way that you're presenting things. And the course helped me be such a better teacher. And obviously time and practice, but if I hadn't taken the course, I would have been a big failure. How did I find out about EPIC? I was just looking online for ways to get abroad, and I really chose to go with EPIC in Korea because it was pretty easy for teachers, as far as they offered me a contract, they were going to pay for my flight, they were going to do all those other kinds of things. So that's why I was mainly attracted to them and decided to go forward, trying to get a job through them. It took me about 6 months to get everything taken care of, from taking my TEFL course, to getting all the paperwork done, to getting my flight, to getting to Korea. About 6 months worth of pretty extensive paperwork, but nothing that you can't accomplish. So I taught in one of actually the oldest and one of the smallest schools in Busan, so my class size was pretty minimal. I had anywhere from 5 to 35 students in a class, and it was an elementary school, and it was a 5-minute walk from my house. It was awesome. But that means that you live in a neighborhood with a lot of your students too, so it's give and take, but a 5-minute commute walking, I can handle that. Yeah, so my school was small, and I taught regular classes during the day with a co-teacher, and then I had classes in the afternoon that were specialized. Some of those were with a co-teacher and some of those weren't. And my classes were generally an hour long, and I always had a textbook to follow, but a lot of creativity was allowed and encouraged. I worked a lot more than most of my friends. Everyone, because we were with EPIC, we have 40-hour work weeks, but your actual instruction time varies, so it could be anywhere from 19 to 28 hours. And I had 28 hours of instruction, which I loved. I was really busy, I was really creative, and I got really good at teaching. So I taught a lot because I asked for extra classes, and I wanted those extra classes, which included teaching one of my teachers at my school English, and teaching a specialized class of really advanced students. I got dressed, and I went to school, and they were like, oh, we're just gonna have you introduce yourself, it'll be no big deal. And we go up to the gymnasium, and there is every single staff member and child waiting there, waiting for me. They've already announced me, there's a silence, and I just walk in, and then my co-teacher sort of pushes me up on the stage and is like, okay, introduce yourself. And I was like, hi. It was terrifying, but eventually I stumbled through it, and it was fine. But yeah, that was just oh my god, I'm here, I'm supposed to be a teacher. So my favorite thing about teaching was we have winter and summer breaks, but the way they do it in Korea is that they have camps during that time. So basically you have a 3-week opportunity to teach anything you want to a group of students that wants to be at school during their break. It's so much fun. So my second time around, or my first time around, we did an around the world theme. Every day we traveled to a different country. We did passport stamps. We went on Google Maps and looked at people's houses in Buenos Aires and all this different stuff, and the students loved it. They memorized that Animaniacs song about the countries of the world. They loved it. The second time I did a media camp, so the first week we wrote books, the second week we made a music video, and the third week we made a mini movie. They loved that too because it was a chance for them to watch a lot of American media, but stuff that they could understand. So we did a lot of animation without words and creating their own cartoons. They loved it. And you can do anything you want, and your school will provide you everything you need. It's the most fun part of teaching. It's great. It's actually really easy to find other expats in Korea. You just go to specific neighborhoods and it's everyone is foreign. So there's, it kind of depends on how you want to spend your time there. You don't want to only be with expats, but you don't want to only be with Koreans. You need a little bit of home, you need a little bit of both. So what I normally did is I spent actually quite a bit of time with my coworkers, got to know them well, and I would hang out with them outside of school. And I also met a lot of Korean people doing volunteer stuff in Korea. So volunteered in an orphanage, and I did some stuff with a group called ATEC, and they're an association for teachers in Korea. And that's the way I met a lot of Korean friends who were my age, but I didn't meet them at work. And those are a lot of the relationships that have been the most lasting since I've been back in America. So I would spend my time going out to the expat communities, but also trying to do those things to meet actual Korean people as well. I love Korean food! No, seriously, if you haven't had Korean food, go eat Korean food right now. It's the best Asian, it's better than any other food around, it's so good. And kimchi solves any problem you'll ever need in your life. But seriously, the food is delicious and it's cheap. You could eat out 3 meals a day for $10. And it's good, and it's fast, and it's cheap. And they're nice about you not knowing what you're getting and helping you learn what to eat and what you can't eat. I had friends who were really nervous going to Korea because they were vegan, but they just memorized a few simple words and they were vegan the whole time they were there, and it wasn't a problem. The food is a lot less intimidating than a lot of people think it is. It's mostly recognizable, but really exciting and spicy and delicious. And if you like seafood, you should go to Busan because you can eat it while it's still alive. It's delicious. So I had a pretty great house. I lived by myself. Like I said, a 5-minute walk from my school. And it was a 1-bedroom apartment. It was pretty nice. It had heated floors. They don't do heating in Korea, but the floors are heated, which is awesome. And my school was really great. I showed up and my co-teacher was like, "You're a woman, you need more closet space." So she took me to the store and bought me a freestanding closet and a dresser. And was just like, "You're a woman, you need these things." And I was like, "Sure, that's great, So it was great. It had everything I needed. A stove, microwave, washing machine, all of that, shower, it was great. It was very secure, and it was really close to public transportation. It was everything I could have asked for. The subway in Korea is awesome. It will take you everywhere you need to go, and it's really easy to understand because the words are anglicized as well as in Korean. And it's also a really good opportunity to practice your Korean. Because you'll see the words both in Korean and in English, and that will help you understand where to go. There's subway maps online, and your co-teacher, I'm sure, will help you get around. Plus, there are buses, and it's pretty, walkable. So mostly I took the subway and the bus, and most everyone lives within a 10-minute walk of a stop, just because the subway system is so extensive. So Skype makes everything super easy. I just use Skype all the time, and of course you'll have an internet connection in your apartment, so you don't need to worry about that. You'll be able to reach your family, and they'll be able to reach you, and you'll have internet at school, so email, all that stuff. I even had Skype at my school, and my family met my students. Korea is really tech savvy, so you'll have no problem keeping in touch with people via the internet and all that kind of stuff. And even if you don't have a personal computer, there are PC bombs everywhere, so you don't need to worry about that if you don't have one, and you'll have a computer at school, most likely. So traveling was the best part. So I went to Thailand for a month. It was incredible. Everything you think it's going to be. Go to the north, it's amazing. We like trekked through the jungle, we slept outside, it was incredible. Then I went to Vietnam, Cambodia. Cambodia is the best country in the world. If you can go there, stay there, be there, it's amazing. I also went to India and Nepal. I really, really loved Nepal. And yeah, I mean, like one of the most exciting parts about teaching is Korea is that you can travel all over the world. You know, you have all these opportunities to have paid vacation and just time off. Your school is going to be really understanding of the fact that you want to travel. Even if you want to travel to Japan, they won't be that angry with you, which I also did, and it was fantastic. So travel a lot, and you know, you'll get to see some really amazing places. And traveling within Korea, like going to Seoul is really exciting. Seeing the DMZ is really interesting. And there's a lot of tiny little Korean towns that are cool and they're really different. So you should travel within the country as well. Keep an open mind. Like, don't, you know, it's crowded there and it's really different. It's probably the most different place I've ever spent a lot of time, but don't let it get to you. You know, have a positive attitude and just be willing to compromise a little bit and you'll have a great time.